We have to change the food culture. People have to realize that it's just not their own discipline for eating better food, which is important. But we need to find ways in which eating healthy foods is really the cultural norm. And we have long ways to go to do that.
I'm really glad that you asked about food culture because I think that that's the important piece that's been missed. We talk about individual responsibility and we talk about why people aren't doing what they're doing, but we fail to really give credit to the fact that we live within a culture that is telling us how we should think and feel and act in regards to health and wellness. Our society doesn't really support our choices to be healthy and well. Corporate work environment, every place I've ever heard about, the break room is full of junk. I mean, can we bring in a fruit platter? Are you kidding? No, bring in donuts in. What are we having for dinner at the potluck? Pizza, obviously. Like, oh my gosh. Can we get salad? Sure. What do you end up with? White lettuce and croutons and cheese, Caesar salad. Like, yeah, great. White lettuce, plain iceberg lettuce. It's like of effort to actually do anything healthy in the corporate world, in the work world, which is where most of us spend so much of our day. If there's not a lot of support there, that's gonna be tough to make change.
Diet-wise, there's still a challenge. I still have, unfortunately, incredible levels of stress in my life. My brother has been staying with us for the past 2 months, and that's a really big source of tension for me. And then we were trying to buy a second house, and we pulled out of that. And so it's just been a very, very busy and challenging time on top of things with work. And other things in Tyler's school. I've been able to, like I told you before, I've been able to go for like a week, like 2 weeks, but then like when I fall off really hard. It's difficult, especially with the boys, and we seem to eat out quite a bit because of our schedules and things like that. I would say that has been the biggest barrier to being able to successfully implement these things is eating out. So I'm still working on the day-to-day choices. Like I'm trying to have at least 1 paleo meal a day, 2 paleo snacks a day. And that I've been successful with, and I just, I tend to feel a whole lot better when I'm adhering to that type of, diet. It feels like every time we meet, I say this, but it seems like things are going to start slowing down. I'm hoping, kind of letting my brother stay with us and trying to get into this, this buy the second house and things like that. We're kind of just kind of shooting myself in the foot for being successful with this.
Lifestyle-based diseases that are really taking the greatest toll on our health. And the United States is actually one of the greatest sufferers of these chronic diseases. So despite the fact that we have access to incredible modern medicine, we're ranking pretty poorly compared to our fellow countries in terms of how we're managing the burden of chronic disease. So it's pretty serious, I'd say.
What we have come to accept as normal is the steady decline from the age of 18 with worsening blood pressure, worsening clogging of the artery, worsening mental capacities. When in fact, what is normal is fully robust health, physical capacities, mental capacities into our 90s.
Your diet actually has to be a lifestyle choice. And so what we need to look at when we're giving individual recommendations to patients is We need to look at their stage of life and their disease process and their health goals. We need to look at if they have a food sensitivity or a food allergy. But in addition, we also need to think about their cultural upbringing, their ethical choices around food, and then also, and very importantly, their access. Do they actually have access to this healthy, healing food? And so all of those things need to be taken into account when you're working with a patient and trying to get them on the right path. We are all individuals, and what is optimal for each of us is going to be a little bit different, and is probably going to be a moving target, because how our bodies respond to food is dependent on how much sleep we got. It's dependent on our stress. It's dependent on exactly what our gut microbiome is doing. It's dependent on the last time we were exposed to a virus or a bacteria. There are so many things that influence how we respond to foods. So creating a diet, right? And it's here's your rules, here's your yes and your no's, isn't really the goal. It's creating the scientific foundation for understanding how to choose a food, and then providing a framework from which people can start and then experiment to figure out what is really optimal for them and what makes them feel the best.
I have gotten off track for sure, and so I've just been dealing with that, I guess. I can definitely tell a difference in how my body feels when I was on track versus to now that I'm off track. Just things were better, little things that I think affect the condition, like sleep. I was sleeping a lot better, and energy, and not even the specifics of the actual disease or the condition. It was just those little things that I noticed a lot. And the big one is pain. It's back. So unfortunately, I haven't been back to my functional medicine doctor because for a while there I was paying out of pocket. My insurance doesn't cover functional medicine, and so I was paying out of pocket. And at some point, it just got to be too expensive because I was paying hundreds of dollars in vitamins and supplements, and every time I went, it was more tests, and insurance wouldn't cover this test or that test, and so it was definitely starting to add up. Right now, what's holding me up is I'm getting lots of information from just which diet to follow, because now I'm hearing that meat is not good for arthritic conditions, and I went to an iridologist in town, and she was amazing, and she's she's in remission from her rheumatoid arthritis, and she is very adamant about following a strict vegan diet. I definitely felt like I was confused. I'm still confused. That's another one of the big reasons why I'm struggling right now. I'm confused, and especially when you yourself are Googling, that's the worst. Ooh, those are vegan ones. Yum.
You can still find good information on the internet, but it takes a skilled eye to be able to sift through all the information and pull out the pieces. So I do think you can get some information from the media, but if it's specifically related to your disease state and you're thinking about making a big change, I think you do need to seek out a healthcare professional that has that training and that can work with you along the way. I think you often do need support and guidance and practical information to be successful.
Right. And what do you understand what's keeping you from getting to between the Ultra and ICANN?
I've made a huge amount of changes in this year. So I do feel like I'm doing my best. And that's still not good enough. And that's what is so upsetting me. And it's like,
you know what?
No, stop.
Yeah, I don't know there's something right now that.
And I think it's just also I think the thing is, like you said, you have to accept that you're not going to be able to go back to that lifestyle. And so you have to accept that, okay, you've done all this stuff and this is part of what you're doing. but it's not going to get you back to eating ice cream.
No, I think
not
that's
that you want to eat ice cream in the first place. So,
well, that's where you have to go. And you know what? Everybody goes through a mourning process. Everyone does, and you have to go through it. You have to let yourself go through it, and you have to be angry about what you're giving up because you are giving up.
yeah.
And then once you get past that, you'll be to the next point where you'll realize what amazing things you've